Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful Thursday here. And I'm very excited as tomorrow marks my last day of online school as my quarantine will end in the next 2 days. So that is very awesome. Great. So that's very positive that now my quarantine can end so I can hang out with my friends and all of that. But in this video, we're going to continue to focus about the upcoming big wintry mess across areas of the plains, Midwest, and up to the Great Lakes, and even as far west as the Rockies, but definitely going to be a more wintry mess for the Great Lakes like Michigan and even Wisconsin. So we're going to be looking at the timing, when this snow can really become very widespread, who's going to be seeing extreme flooding for those who won't get who won't get snow, and obviously what will be the snowfall accumulations and who will see the most snowfall. That's exactly what we're going to be talking throughout this video here. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe as well, hit the post notification icon, and also be sure to hit the big, nice like button. Without further ado, let's get in the forecast. So here's look now at the here's a look at the Midwestern region here, and this snow is going to start developing here by as early as tomorrow morning and late morning, kind of early afternoon. We will start to see those below freezing temperatures reaching up in areas in the higher elevations in areas like Colorado and Wyoming, some scattered areas up into western Kansas. So we will be seeing that snow kind of developing in those more higher elevations where below freezing temperatures will be more frequent up to areas like Denver, Colorado Springs, and just much in general of Colorado. And that's where we're going to be seeing that low pressure there where we have that slight precipitation. But since the areas of the eastern low pressure side will be above freezing, it'll mainly be just really heavy rain. That's exactly what we'll be seeing here. There's that western side of low pressure where we have that very cold air behind it. That's going to help a lot of bring snow for areas like Nebraska City and areas like North Platte. Continue to see snow by throughout much of tomorrow for areas like Denver, Colorado Springs, even up now spreading into central Wyoming, spreading more into the western portion of Nebraska. And we'll be seeing some big flooding threats, especially for the Mississippi River regions there near Davenport, St. Louis. And then once we get down to like the Friday afternoon and evening areas, that's when we'll start to see those very heavy snow showers kind of developing throughout southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois as temperatures continue to drop. As we now get into Saturday late morning, early afternoon, this is when the snow gets a lot more severe, as now temperatures are continuing to drop here. That's going to end this low pressure as well. Not only are the temperatures dropping, but the low pressure will be strengthening, which means it will not only bring in a heavier rate of rain, which means more flooding for the areas to the south. It's also going to be bringing in more and even more frequent heavy snow. So that's going to help bring in those higher accumulations once we get towards the Midwest here, even if temperatures are slightly above freezing here. Let's now take a look now at the U.S. Corn Belt here. And you just see this snow is going to be really stretching very widespread across these general areas, all the way from Lake Michigan up into areas like Nebraska. You do see that as well. You can see some snow developing as well near the Grand Rapids region as well. Some heavy snow developing by late morning, early afternoon for areas like Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Gonna see some really widespread flooding across these regions of Kentucky, Indiana, especially Illinois, as is exactly what that low pressure will be. But you do see that snow's going to be way to the north, and that's because these areas, this cold front's going to be very minimal. It's going to be very small. It's going to kind of really be affecting these areas. But even with these below average temperatures, some of these people or some of these regions still won't reach below freezing. So these areas right here is going to be very small. It's exactly where we will be seeing that perfect moisture. There's that low pressure meeting with the cold air behind it, and it's going to help develop snow specifically in these areas here. So that low pressure was a bit more to the south. We could actually see some more snow for Chicago, more snow deeper into Missouri. But by Saturday, kind of early afternoon, we're going to be seeing that snow really picking up for areas like Des Moines, Davenport, much of southern Wisconsin, start to pick up a lot for central and southern Iowa. And by that time into now the late afternoon regions, it'll kind of move out by Nebraska, to move out of Kansas, and it's going to really start diminishing for areas like Missouri and western Iowa. But it won't be diminishing whatsoever. It's going to be doing the complete opposite as the low pressure continues to strengthen now into the triple digits here. So it's going to bring potential really heavy snow, likely to bring in windstorm warnings for areas like Rockford, Illinois, Areas in Milwaukee, you can see very heavy snow. Madison, Wisconsin, you can see some moderate snowfall. I'm going to be seeing some very heavy snowfall for areas like Muskegon, Grand Rapids, all the way up into areas like Traverse City. We can see some moderate to heavy snowfall. We aren't going to be seeing too much snow whatsoever for Chicago. Chicago is just going to be seeing above freezing temperatures, and that snow's going to be just to the north for areas like Rockford. And again, so continue to see some snow showers by Sunday morning for portions of Davenport all the way up to north central Missouri. And very heavy snow, extremely heavy snow actually, for regions up into north central Michigan. So the dead center of this extreme snowfall will be into north central Michigan there. And then the storm should move out now by Sunday. Really, I guess you say midday at this point. So here's now at the GFS, and the GFS is finally being a bit more reliable, or a bit more, I guess you say, reasonable, as they had the snow developing a lot sooner than expected, or actually not expected, but a lot sooner than they showed yesterday. And they're finally starting to look like the European at this point. This is the next 18 hours, and they finally had the snow actually developing way sooner than they showed yesterday, which is why I said yesterday, really, I wouldn't pay attention to the GFS. But now, it's going to be different here. They're finally showing that snow developing even pretty widespread by Friday afternoon for areas like northwestern Kansas, southwestern Nebraska, and portions of Colorado throughout the whole state there. As we're now going to deeper to now Friday evening, they finally should be as well developing pretty widespread all the way up from Madison, Wisconsin, up into the areas up into north central Kansas as well. We're going to be seeing some big time flooding threats. Low pressure really is at 1,007 millibars. It's going to be very weak, which is why we're seeing that snowfall gradually going to take a pretty long time to actually develop into some pretty widespread snow. And it's going to even kind of diminish really fast and actually turn a lot of that snow into rain actually. So it's not going to be like Dane. It's going to be actually a very slow process since that low pressure is so far down. This cold front really isn't helping whatsoever. But it's not until that low pressure moves to the north and strengthens into the triple digits. And that's exactly where that rain will start to develop into snow for areas like Traverse City, Muskegon, even from Milwaukee, Rockford, and even as well all the way up to Des Moines. So they're really showing now a lot less snow for areas like Iowa, a lot less snow for Illinois, and a lot less snow even for Wisconsin here, but they kind of are being more even towards Michigan. We obviously can't forget about the Nanther kilometer model, which seems to be very fairly detailed, and we obviously don't want to have global models messing it up. So let's take a look now at very detailed radars here. This is kind of what we're going to be seeing on live radars here, which is why I like to show, once again, the really 3-day time frame. I like to show like NAM models, even though they're not the most accurate when it comes to snowfall. They seem to be very fairly accurate on exactly where the snow will be, and they're not really too good with the intensity though. But in the next 24 hours here, we will start to see that snow becoming very widespread now. Really, the main storm stretching all the way from Nebraska to areas like Wyoming, scattered regions up in the Rockies, and portions of Denver and even Colorado Springs. But there you see that very heavy rain to the areas of the east of that low pressure. The low pressure can be right here, so it's going to kind of be way to the northwest where we see that main snow, and then way to the northeast where we see all that rain here. So it's going to be kind of divided in that freezing line right there. As we now go in the next 30 hours, that snow starts to really pop up now into portions of Wisconsin, now bringing some heavy snow from Madison. Going to bring some scattered snow across the whole, really the central part and the spine of Iowa into Des Moines. And does not really reach the southern half until that second wave there. And it's going to be fairly heavy at some points here. We could be seeing some points some very, very heavy snow. And that's going to be just for some areas here. It's not going to be for all those areas. It's going to be fairly heavy, but for only a few times. So there's going to be those really one little waves or one pocket of extremely heavy snow there. But we're not going to start seeing that snow really developing or scattered snow showers developing into the next 24 hours here. But once it starts to begin, it's going to really start to take a gradual process to actually have it kind of connect once again, as it will gradually split up, but it really won't do that whatsoever for north central Michigan. That's where it's going to be a bullseye for heavy snowfall, because they're going to be well below freezing here, as they're going to be impacted more by that cold front here. And then as you do see, they're going to be seeing some really heavy snow for really anywhere all the way beginning to the next 29 hours, ending really all the way to 60 hours. So definitely going to be a long-lasting storm here. Let's take a look at the European model here for snowfall, and they haven't really changed necessarily too much. They have actually increased snowfall totals a bit more to the west here, But let's take a look at what they have here. So let's go to where it actually ends. This is kind of where this snowstorm ends here by Sunday. But you do see we're gonna be seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches there near Denver, Colorado. Anywhere from 3 to 5 inches there in the Colorado Springs area. But up in the far western elevations there, in the western half of Colorado, where we will be seeing over 6,000 foot elevations, we will be getting up to maybe near a foot of snow, but it really is not going to be too impressive here. Scattered areas from 1 to 3 inches for portions of scattered areas in Montana and Wyoming. Again, not too impressive, but it starts to get really impressive once you move more to the east here. As that low pressure strengthens here, it's going to be like 1,007 here, 1,007. By the time the low pressure gets over here, it's already at 1,004. And then once it crosses the Great Lakes there, it's already at 999. So this is going to be because this low pressure is strengthening. So it's going to bring in a heavier rate of precipitation, both for rain and for snow here. Look at anywhere from 4 to 6 inches for Nebraska City. Anywhere from 2 to 4 inches there for Lincoln, and as well for the kind of the Lincoln area as well, and Omaha. And then looking towards now near the Des Moines area, I can see a good amount of snowfall, anywhere from 4 to 7 inches. So there has kind of been more of a southern little tip there towards some snowfall, higher elevations, or not high elevations, for higher rates of snowfall have moved more to the south there. Near Davenport, 3 to 5 inches scattered. Some scattered areas could maybe reach 6 inches, but it really, of course, won't be too much. Now let's take a look now at the Great Lakes here. You do see looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches for Chicago. But near the Rockford area, a whole different story. 3 to max, anywhere from 6 inches. But just a few counties north of Chicago getting anywhere from 6 to 9 inches. Milwaukee, right off the lake, 5 inches. But if you move kind of the western metro region, could reach up to 7 to 8 inches. Madison, Wisconsin, anywhere from 5 to 6 inches. And this is a whole different story there in Michigan. It's just a whole different story. As that low pressure really strengthens now, well below in the 990s, can get up to now around over a foot of snowfall areas near Grand Rapids. Traverse City looking at a good maybe 3 to 5 inches. Muskegon looking at probably anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of snowfall. So it's definitely going to be a big wintry mess for some. And the GFS still really slacking a lot here on this whole region. After it gets out of the mountains, it really slacks a lot, the GFS, on snowfall totals. They're only getting around 1 to 2 inches there for areas like Omaha. Really only 1 inch for Des Moines, only 1 inch or actually less than an inch for Davenport. So they really are slacking a lot. Only scattered areas anywhere from 3 to 4 inches, but it's not. I really don't expect that here. I believe since low pressure will be strengthening as it moves northeastward, it will bring in a heavier amount of precipitation, at least for Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. And they, of course, have some scattered areas anywhere from half a foot to a foot there in those Rockies. But even for Wisconsin, they're really slacking, only 2 to 3 inches there, and only 1 inch max for north central Illinois. So really, it's not just those areas where the low pressure comes at the mountains, but it's kind of as well where the low pressure supposedly strengthens. And it really does not bring a lot of snow to Michigan here, and still slacking a bit, only reaching 12 inches there. And 12 inches is a lot, obviously, but not compared to what other models are showing here. And then last but not least, a look at the precipitation. And we're going to be seeing a lot of rain to areas to the east or kind of southeast of that snow, where we will be seeing some snow in areas where we will get over an inch of rain, but areas where we won't get too much snow, no snow whatsoever, like areas like Gary and areas like South Bend and Kalamazoo, we can get anywhere from 1.5 inches to anywhere from 2 inches. So definitely going to be seeing some decent flash flooding threats anywhere from Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, all the way up to areas near Quebec and Ontario. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.